Oh, hold on. Amanda, is that better? Thank you. Somehow the volume got turned down inside of the streaming software. So I appreciate it. And that's why we stall for a little bit, right? So nobody heard that entire conversation except TikTok, and that's not a permanent conversation. So That's okay. I'm going to go through some of that again, just so that everybody that's not on TikTok hears this again. So, my name is Jared Budlong. I'm running as an independent candidate for governor in Alabama. And I am an average cisgendered heterosexual white man from Daphne who's tired of the way this state is running. And our other candidates don't seem to care about the things that I do. One of those, which is really relevant, so I'm going to mention it just because it's a hot topic, that would be abortion. I'm pro-abortion. I believe that that is healthcare, and if you have a uterus, you should have access to it if you want or need it. So there we go. I'm running because nobody else seems to say the things that I want to say. So, and that's one of them, including our Democratic candidate. They are pro-life and seemingly want to run our state from their religious views, which is concerning. So let's move on into strategy. Amanda, thank you again for helping me understand that we had no audio on all of the other platforms that will be around forever. So the first 5 minutes will be muted. So that's going to be fun. All right. Strategy. Let's get back over to captions, make sure people know what we're talking about if they join in later. Perfect. All right, I think we're set. So keep up the conversation in the chat. If you have questions, please put them in there, and we'll talk about it. But the big thing is strategy. We're trying to reach 1.4 million people. That's the general target demographic for us. Is the 1.4 million people who were registered in 2020 who didn't vote at all. They didn't cast a vote. They were registered, so could have and didn't. And I'm sure that number it fluctuates a little bit because some people have died. I got it. Some people also have come of voting age. So, that number is a good ballpark to hit. And if somebody is going to ask, COVID does not drastically reduce that number. We've had a total of about 22,000 people who have died from COVID. So out of 1.4 million, as cold as this sounds, it's not intended that way, but that is not a statistically relevant number because somebody tried to, I bring it up because somebody asked and they're like, hey, like 1.4 million, but COVID, like, I was like, yeah, a lot of people have died, but not enough to statistically affect that number. So we're still trying to reach those people and the previously not registered voters, whether they just came of age or they just never felt like registering because they didn't care, didn't think that their voice mattered. The reminder that we have to give continually. So if you're following me and you're supporting the campaign, please continually remind people around you that at a state level, every vote counts. It does not matter what district you're in. It does not matter what county you're in. It doesn't matter what your neighbor does. Every single vote matters. It's a popular vote. Like every single one counts. So that's what we're here for. This meeting is open. So I mentioned this at the beginning, so we're just going to re-mention it again. This is an open meeting. So there is a link on my website. If you want to join the conversation on TikTok, you can't see the other people in the meeting, but there are other people in the meeting and you'll hear them throughout. And if you want to join in the conversation and help out and make decisions, help out with input on the campaign strategy meeting like this one, field operations, which comes up next, and then Tuesdays is policy meetings, you're welcome to join the conversation. If you want to actually take on tasks and actually help the campaign with your time not during the meetings, there's a volunteer form you can fill out. The only thing I ask is that you be honest with that form. So if you say you can work 4 days a week, an hour each, or however the form is laid out, make sure that's generally true. If stuff happens, like I get it, you're volunteering, I can't pay you because this is a grassroots funding campaign. But if you say you can work an hour a day for 4 days a week, if that's generally true, great. If you are saying like that's the max, let's just do an average. Like just say, hey, I think I can only work an hour a week, and then that's cool. And if you can work more, please do. But we want to make sure we have a rough idea of how many resources we actually have for the campaign, so that we can allocate things correctly. Anyway, so that's where we're at. And strategy, 1.4 million people. That's who we're trying to reach. So currently, the big way to do that is social media. So funding's low, so the most cost-effective and thrifty way to do that is through social media. So that's why you're seeing me here weekly, multiple times throughout the week on all the major social media platforms, at least. A few of them don't let you restream like we are here. The big one for me is TikTok. So thank you guys for showing up. Everybody's hanging out in the chat. And the other thing would be events. So there are rallies, protests, demonstrations, and then other just general events for the communities that are in the state. And I plan on showing up to those when funding permits or if I'm close enough. So today, weather permitting, we have a thunderstorm situation going on here, but I will be going to an event later today. that is one of the ways we are reaching people. So I do want to pull up because I didn't have it ready last week for our first meeting since we reorganized everything. I do want to pull up some statistics from TikTok and from the website. And for some reason, the TikTok, oh, there we go. It refreshed. Cool. So let's zoom out a bit and pull this up. I should be able to share this. Where should I share this? I need my team to see, so we're going to share it here. All right, let's do a window here. Done. And I believe you all should see that. Taylor, if you don't, please confirm that for me. We should.
I see it.
Cool. Okay. So
It's just fancy on my phone.
yeah, no, you're good.
Okay, there we go.
So I'm going to make this a little bit bigger so everybody on the other streams can see. I'm going to get rid of some of the overlap. There we go. And it's kind of hard to see on the live stream, but we are going to go over some rough statistics. So right now we're looking at TikTok data. So there's a way to export your data. Oh, Taylor, go ahead.
Oh, sorry, I forgot I was not muted.
No, go ahead. Okay, gotcha.
We were leaving the house, so
Yep.
sorry, that's my bad. Let me mute.
No worries. All right, so it's actually a really nice thing about being virtual and doing everything virtually. Taylor actually has to go somewhere and is jumping in the car and going to be able to continue the meeting, which is cool, which is nice. So TikTok stats from the last week, so June 19th through June 25th. We saw a huge spike on the 24th. There are some interesting bits there. We can look at the videos that were posted on that day, and that actually shows up somewhere else. We have to go back and look at it, but we can actually find out what videos are showing some engagement, which ones are getting views and comments, and that way we can kind of know which ones are resonating with people, hopefully in Alabama. That's where most of the comments are coming from. A few out-of-state supporters and people just commenting to boost, so to speak. But the 24th was a huge spike for us. If I had to guess, that would be the Roe v. Wade decision. That's going to be my ballpark guess. I don't remember the date. Probably should have that committed to memory at this point, but I'm ballpark guessing. And then this next one is actually total views and profile views, which are typically in line. And again, TikTok, if you want to see this stuff, you have to go to the other chat, but please do if you want to. But it shows the comparison to video views, so just overall views and profile views. Typically, those are they're pretty close and correlated, unless I did something that just my existing fan base or followers like, right? So because then they wouldn't be going to the profile, they would just be watching that video specifically. Anywho, let's see. And then we've got some shares to likes and viewers who commented on lives. So whenever I go live like we are today, there's some stats that come out of that, and we can see which ones are more popular and which ones get shared more, for instance, or got more comments. Again, the 24th, huge spike. People commenting and liking a lot more than shares, but still roughly the same trend, roughly across each video. And then we've got total views and new followers, so we can see if there's any correlation between certain videos that we're live videos that we're doing and new followers from those videos. So if the topic we talked about, for instance, got people to follow us, follow the account in the campaign, then we can use that to maybe influence what live streams we do moving forward, because the campaign live streams aren't the only ones. We have people come on who are residents, typically, who want to talk about some issues that are bothering them. So like yesterday, we talked to a 100% disabled vet who doesn't fully align with what I believe. Like there's some stuff that we disagree on, but he overall agrees with a lot of the stuff that I'm saying, and the stuff that we don't agree on, he's willing to kind of concede as, that's differences. And he's willing to at least engage in conversation and see if there's a way we can move the state forward, even if we don't agree on everything, which is very good to hear. And I think my 7-year-old has a question. We're in the middle of a meeting, buddy. What's up? We should be able to do that. It'll be closer to lunchtime, though. Okay. All right. Thank you. Can you shut the door when you leave? All right. So let's see. Moving forward from there. So the other neat thing on TikTok is they actually tell you when your your profile followers are online, so you can actually know when you should be either posting content or going live. So on this one, the majority of my the followers who are following my page are on late at night, and that I don't know if that is a reflection of myself or in the content I've been posting, but that's been true most of the account. Most of the time we've had this account, they have been TikTok, have been up late at night, interacting and commenting on things. So I definitely don't want to post anything first thing in the morning because nobody's online yet. But it slowly goes up as the day goes on, and it peaks around 9 or 10 each month. It shifts a little bit, but it's roughly 9 or 10 o'clock is when people are active that are engaging with my content.
Can you schedule videos on TikTok to
Uh,
post?
Through the desktop, I think you can, but the problem with the desktop is you can't add some of the things like the like captions, the thumbnail, like all that
Oh,
stuff.
gotcha.
You don't have the full capabilities when you schedule it that way. But what you can do is you can draft a post and then just log in real quick and hit post. So that's what I've been
Okay.
doing most of the time. Is the intentional content. My 7-year-old's still trying to hang out. If you heard the toys go off earlier, sorry. Super distracting.
Tell him I said hey.
He can hear you.
Hey.
Uh, all right. Can you please leave the room so it's not distracting? I have a
Sorry.
limited amount of time. No, it's okay. I have a limited amount of time, buddy. I want to make sure we're respecting everybody's times. I need you to head out, please. You can take the keyboard. That's fine. It doesn't work. They got used too much. All right.
Because
So
I
go
know
ahead.
on Facebook, like when I do an author takeover or whatever, you can schedule things like every 3 minutes so that you're not scrambling.
Yeah.
So
Yep.
I didn't know if that was. I'm not TikTok savvy.
Yeah, I believe there's on the desktop. I haven't used it because the last time I did, I couldn't I was like, okay, cool, yeah, like upload the video, and like I thought it was a next button, was actually just post, and like I wasn't able to add captions or anything else. And I want to make sure we are as accessible as possible because I know there are plenty of people who need those captions, and it's not that I don't try to enunciate my words. Some people like literally they need captions. It's not a preference. People need them, and I want to make sure we're as accessible as possible. Somebody on TikTok did ask a relevant question to campaign strategy. They are asking if we will be on the ballot. And no, this is a write-in campaign. I did a ballot access petition, or let me rephrase that. I started a petition for ballot access and did not receive the 52,000 plus signatures on paper that the state requires to submit it. So that did not happen. The campaign now is write-in. So what we are trying to do is reach those 1.4 million people and get them to learn how to and remember how to spell my name. JAREDBUDLONG. So we need to make sure everybody knows how to spell my name so that when it comes to November 8th, when they're at their polling place, they can put it down, and we have a realistic shot at this election this year. So let's see. We're going to ignore, hey, Ray, that's not strategy related, so you can come back to maybe policy, and we can talk about that one. The one you put in the Q&A. Let's see. Another good strategy question. Do you think this splits the Democratic ticket? I don't, but I also don't care. So my general response is I'm not trying to attract the Democrats. Like if you're a Democratic voter and you vote Democrat, continue to vote Democrat if that's what you think will be best for this state. I'm trying to go after the people who didn't vote in the first place. So I'm not trying to split either party. I'm just trying to get everyone to vote because there is 1.4 million people who didn't vote in 2020. And the thing I didn't mention earlier is that's 1.4 million who didn't vote compared to 950,000 who voted straight Republican and 550,000 who voted straight Democrat. So even if we combine those, like it's a pretty even split, and you'll notice that I said a third is the 1.4, and then somehow we're at 50-50, and that's because of mixed ballot. People are actually voting their conscience. So those people are more likely to vote for me than just the straight Democratic voters. But I'm not even really worried about them at this point. I want to reach the people who aren't voting currently because they feel, from what I've gathered in the, what month is this? We're in the 7th month, and I started in January, so 6 months. Yeah, so the 6 months that I've been campaigning, the people that I'm reaching and resonating with are the people who are like, yeah, no, I had given up on this state. There's no point in voting. And it's like, well, there is a point, and that point is the fact that we, at a state level, and a lot of your very local elections, those can be popular votes, right? There's, sorry, not your super hyper local ones. Those are potentially gerrymandered, right? So your district, you can't choose what district you're in potentially. That could be gerrymandered, but your statewide elections, like those, that's just the entire state, 1-to-1 voting. Whoever gets the most wins, right? It's a popular vote at that point, and that is what I want people to realize, because a lot of people don't. They think about it in a presidential election mindset. They think, oh, well, like, I'm in a red state or I'm in a red county, like it doesn't matter. Well, for the governor, it does. It very much so matters. Very much so matters for your state senator and your state rep. That might be problematic, but the state senator, you got two, like. You've got this. Like, that's a whole popular vote. Like, does not matter.
Representatives are gerrymandered as hell.
Yeah, but the House, the Senate. God, I'm mixing up my words. The Senate is, you got two, and everybody votes on them. So let's see. The next question. What's a question you wish more people would ask? Anything that's actually here, I'll put it up. Anything that's actually relevant to the campaign. I'm going to invert your question slightly. I dislike questions that are irrelevant to the position. So a lot of people ask like what my previous political office, history is. And that's not relevant. Like, would you like to know if I've been a coroner? Like that doesn't matter. That's an elected position. So I could say, yeah, I've held 3 public offices before. I mean, it was a constable, and it was a coroner, and it was, like I don't know, what's some other position that really wouldn't matter for this? Sheriff. Like, I was a sheriff, I was a coroner, and I was a constable. Like, is that helpful? Like, it doesn't matter. What I would rather ask, or what I'd rather have people ask, is what they're trying to get to with that question, which is usually something like, what experience do you have that's, that will have you do a good job in this position? And like, that doesn't have to be public office. If anything, we should be thinking about the fact that all of the people that are currently in office have been in office before, and they're not helping all of the residents and the citizens of the state. So why would you want more of that? Like, I don't understand that. And I get that some people still think it's relevant, but I don't. And I would much rather answer more relevant questions. So that's a roundabout way of answering your question, I hope. So that's all the Q&A on TikTok. So we'll move back into our strategy stuff. We're going to go till about 9:45, 9:50, and then we're going to take bio breaks, and we have a meeting at 10. So Amanda said, I think it is relevant to state that the Republican and Democratic candidates are both basing a lot of policy on conservative religious reasoning, so their platforms are basically the same. Yeah, I completely agree with that statement. If you go look at either of our governor candidates currently, both of their platforms look very similar. They're both pro-life candidates. They're both saying that they want to, not ironically, it makes sense. All 3 of us are saying we want to do something about healthcare, education, and prisons. It's what we say about those where we differ. So for prisons, for me, we have to rethink the entire process of justice, not just improve the facilities that we have, or just look at reducing the sentences for crimes. Like, I don't think some of those crimes should go to prison in the first place. Like, there are very few things that I think we should lock people in a box for. And it's a very small amount of things. We should be finding ways of preventing them from having is the wrong word. We should find ways of preventing people from being in a situation that causes them or makes them want to do the crimes that we as a society don't like. So that's the disconnect that some people have, and this is actually a good conversation for strategy, I hope, and maybe it's a video topic, is our laws are based on a societal understanding of what we want for our people, right? Like, they're not innate. Like, I know that the the Constitution says, there are some things that are imbued, right? But we have decided, and that's why we create new laws, because we as a group have said, hey, maybe we shouldn't do X. Like, that's bad for society, so we should stop. My problem is that we just punish people for doing the thing that we said don't do, even if their circumstances kind of dictate that that's the best option for them. So theft and robbery is a really good example. A lot of people do that because they're poor. And we don't try to fix poverty. We just try to say, hey, you shouldn't steal stuff. And it's like, well, if I make $7.25 an hour and I can only get one job and it takes $35,000 on average to live in my county, like that, I need to more than double my income just to live. And it's like, I'm not saying they should steal and rob, but what else do you like? What else do you expect people to do who are desperate and don't have any money? We have to solve the desperate and not money problem, not just punish them for doing the thing that we've forced them as a state into. So,
it's like that quote from Ever After that I told you. If you suffer your people from infancy to be ill-educated and poor, what is there to conclude that you first make thieves and then punish them?
Yeah, and that's. I don't think that's unintentional either. Like, we've talked about that, and I'm not going to read it here because I want to be respectful of everybody's time. But go read the day 2 proceedings for the Constitutional Convention of 1901. I'm going to keep saying that, and for the rest of the campaign. I need to keep reading the rest of the days because there's probably other things that people need to be aware of. But that one should wake some white people up. I'll say that. So go read day 2 of the proceedings for the Constitutional Convention. If you're not sure how to find it, go to Wikipedia for the Wikipedia article for our Constitution of 1901. Scroll to the footnotes, number 9. Click that and read it. It's on the official state website, so it's not me, pointing to a WordPress blog or a Blogger or what's the other Tumblr. Like, it's not some random account. It's literally the state's website and their notice of the hearings before we had our convention, or as we were making before we had our Constitution, current Constitution. Let's see. So strategy piece. Let's jump back into some data because I don't think we have any more questions that are strategy related.
What do we think about a live stream to raise funds, or I don't know, like a good old fashioned telethon?
Yeah, I'm for it. So the only thing you mentioned that in one of our chats, and the only thing I'm not sure is we need something that people would want to come and actually stick around for. So like a telethon usually has entertainment of some sort. So we would need some type of entertainment to keep people engaged and wanting to watch the stream. Because as you get more people, the more people that stick around, the more people that engage, the more that TikTok specifically is going to send that stream to other people. So we need some kind of hook. So that could be musicians, it could be comedians, it could be a bunch of stuff. If we're going to do an all-day telethon, we need to have people who are willing to, sign up for a 30, 45-minute spot, and then, do a co-host situation. And TikTok's going to be tough because they have to have 1,000 followers. So that's going to be a bit harder to pull off, unless we could get creative. We could get creative with if we have another account that has 1,000 followers that we could temporarily rename and change the password and hand that to those artists and say, hey, like at 1:00, sign into this account. We could potentially do that. I don't know how well that would work, but we could look into doing something like that. I wish that TikTok did this, the restream thing where you could actually, invite people randomly. They don't have to have 1,000 followers to jump on. I wish we could do that, but let's finish looking at that.
I think you could, in light of the recent decision, I think. Oh, sorry.
Oh no, you're good. I was putting something on. Amanda was following up.
No, I'm just gonna say.
Go ahead.
Like if you had JD or somebody do some basic self-defense, like I'm super pushing for that in light of recent things, because as I've said 100 times, if I'm going to prison, it will not be for snorting a assault cysts baby. It will be for taking them down.
Yeah.
So, I'm big on getting some self-defense in there.
Yeah, I want to be careful of what, again, because I'm not sure what I can promote and say people should do as a candidate for governor. I'm not I'm not sure if I can. Well, I guess it would be JD giving the advice at that point, right? So it wouldn't be me. It would
Well,
be a
I
trained
mean,
professional.
self-defense. It's not. You're
Uh,
not telling people to go. Look,
right.
opinions are my own. Not endorsed by Jared, but not for
Right.
governor.
Right. Yeah. So let's look into whether or not that is a concern. I just want to make sure, because like what I don't like doing is being a typical politician, just like saying things and then just having to backpedal afterwards. Like I don't like doing that.
No, yeah.
It doesn't happen regularly. I make mistakes, so it does, but it's not regular. If I say something, it's usually been thoroughly looked into. I did make a mistake about the riot bill in Alabama that didn't actually pass. I thought it did. The article was very misleading. It only passed the House, so. For the you know what I'm going to mention anyway. Our state tried to change the definition of a riot to be very vague, to where 5 people who gathered in a group who were perceived to be dangerous could be considered riotous, and that's concerning. Again, given all of the things that we were trying and have done now, trying to pass a bill to make it riotous to show up in a group of 5 or more people, with the possibility of endangering property or people, is roughly what it was worded. Go look it up. Like, don't that's not a verbatim. That's a paraphrase. But go check out the bill we tried to pass, and then think about post Roe v. Wade and what's happened across the entire country and in our state. Like, just think about this stuff. Like, the people that are currently in power aren't they're not dumb. Even the ones who made our Constitution. Again, I point back to day 2 of the proceedings. Go read it. They were racist, but they weren't dumb. Let's see. Yeah, so the telethon thing. I actually like that idea. TikTok, I've got 25 people watching there. What do you think about a live stream on TikTok where we have entertainment and or information? So getting doctors involved to talk about different pieces, talk about self-defense, talk about, have some lighthearted stuff. So maybe some music, so it's not all bad news or heavy news. Taylor, can you mute your mic? Is a little hot at times.
Yeah, sorry, I was about to say something, but
go ahead. No, go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say we could get the kids to revive their magic tricks.
Oh my gosh. Yes, that would be hilarious. I don't know if I feel weird about using my kids for the campaign though. Like, I purposely don't post about them on as the campaign. I got some advice to do that at one point, and it just feels, I don't know, it feels icky. Like, I've got 3 kids, I've got a wife,
I feel
but
that.
like it feels, to me, it feels icky to use my kids to campaign. Like, it just, I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong, but until I have some hard evidence that that's the right thing to do, I don't plan on doing it. MC, yeah, I have kids. I don't know if you caught the 7-year-old without a shirt on earlier, but he was hanging out. So TikTok seems to like the idea of the live stream, and we should be able to, if we do it on TikTok primarily, I can do what I did with. Oh, you actually missed that. Yeah, no, my 7-year-old came in twice, kicked around some toys, made a bunch of noise, and then showed up without a shirt on. So, yeah, so we could do the live stream on TikTok primarily, and then I could restream that to the other platforms by using a screen grab. I did that with Gilly Shine the other day at like 7:30. Rocket City, I'm on Twitch right now. So like, I'm on YouTube, Twitch, Facebook, and Twitter, and Facebook's on my page and my profile. So all of those are happening right now. In fact, those are the ones where you can see everybody else, and the data we were talking about earlier, that's all on the other platforms. TikTok doesn't let me screen share. I have to do the cheesy background green screen image thing to get any kind of point across. But it's not easy to do a live transition to new data. I have to pre-make those backgrounds. And the default is the Mona Lisa, so it's very distracting to change those backgrounds. Yeah, so let's.
Also,
oh, go ahead.
Sorry, I was just gonna say, if anybody knows of any good neighborhoods in Alabama that are either, I think you mentioned a website or something, but neighborhoods that we could canvas in that are not, really heavily supportive of Meemaw Ivy. We do want this to be.
Say that again, because I didn't quite follow. You were there. I just didn't. I didn't follow
canvassing neighborhoods. If anybody knows of any neighborhoods that are not pro KIV.
Oh, yeah, yeah. So if you have that info, please show up at the next meeting at 10 o'clock because that's our field operations, so we can actually dive into some
Yeah, I just
details.
won't be there.
Yeah, no, it's all good. Yeah, it was a good
Yeah.
reminder. So we have a meeting coming up at 10 o'clock also. We're going to take a small little bio break so that we're all not sitting for 2 hours straight. And we're going to talk about field operations, which is really like boots on the ground, phone calls, emails, things like that. Some of that is money dependent. So that will if we get funding, we can try to do call banking and things like that. But that's you have to buy those numbers from somebody. The state doesn't give them to you, and the parties won't give you their data. So they'll happily sell it to you. Just for the record, if you're a Republican or a Democrat, a hardcore like party person, they will sell me your data. Just so you're aware, and it's not terribly expensive. But I would rather spend my money on other things currently and reach people organically who are just pissed at the system rather than buying lists from people who are happy with where they are. So, yeah. So there's a meeting at 10. Please show up to that if you want to discuss field operations. So that's where we'll talk about the boots on the ground type stuff and actually engaging with people in person, preferably. One-to-one is more probably a better description, like one-to-one interactions versus this broadcasting stuff that we're doing on social media mostly. So let's see. What else was I going to say? Oh, the live stream. So we probably need to work on a date. I don't think we have to decide that right now. We need to talk to some people first. But if we want to set a rough idea, are we thinking before or after the event in August that we're also working on? Which I don't have details for, so I can't tell you guys about it. But late end of August, if you're near Mobile, keep that weekend free.
I will be free to visit after August 8th. So
Okay.
if you want to do it after August 8th, I can be down there.
Okay. So I'm just trying to think of what. So days of week. If we look at our. This doesn't show days a week on the TikTok stuff, does it? Ooh, I don't know if I might have to try and pull that data. I'm gonna see if there's a better day of the week for active followers versus just time of day. I don't think I have that set up to where I can pull that right now, but I will try to find that, and that way we can figure out which day works, what day and what time based on who's online the most, and we can try to do it that. I think that's probably our best bet. Let's do this data driven, not just guessing. let's use my knowledge and my ability to pull data. So let's do that. Unless anybody disagrees, but I don't know why you would. Happy to take the input, but I think that makes the most logical sense. Cool. All right, so it's 9:41. I don't have anything else strategy-wise. Oh, actually, you know what? We have website data. This really just correlates to social media for the most part because that's where most people are finding out about me is on social media first, and then they're going to find more information about me, which means going online to the website. But Saturday, for the website at least, is the biggest day. People are not at work, so that makes a whole lot of sense. Friday, they're getting ready for the weekend, so they're doing that. And then the rest of the week is pretty low on traffic to the website, at least. And then engagement rate just means they were on the page and didn't just load it. They actually engaged with us in some way. So they scrolled, clicked, whatever. These are anything that's above, I think, 10% engagement rate shows up in this list. So the homepage is obviously the biggest one. That's the one, if you search for me on Google, that it goes to the homepage most of the time, unless you're looking for a specific keyword. Quick links, which is the link that's in my profile, has the next biggest hit, which makes a ton of sense. And then the feedback form, that's awesome that's got some high engagement. I like it. The about page is after that, and then the old event page, because we just redid our event page, so the old one had some high engagement because people were going there to find info. And then the donate page, which I'm not mad at any of those pages being up there. I guess the concern would be that the positions page is not up there, so we need to focus on the positions page and beefing that up, because it's all kind of synopsis stuff right now. It doesn't go into a ton of detail on any of the positions. It is still petition friendly. It was intentionally just vague enough to be appealing to the broader, not far right, but I'm okay with now, revisiting that page and getting a little more clear on some positions. So that's the next thing we probably need to focus on after my about page, because that one is sorely lacking. We talked about it a little bit yesterday, but we got to update that page. So I think that'll be our focus for the website, would be about page and then positions. We've got to flesh that out.
I know you sent to one of our chats, I can't remember, the link to your short stances video. Is there a way to make that like either pinned on your Facebook or somewhere where people can send that to others and just be like, hey, here's a 60-second, check this guy out?
Yeah, I did.
Something that's easily shareable like that.
Yeah, I did add that to the about page. So that is currently on the about page. I added that as a video, so it's there. But I can make sure that gets. I can pin that to most of my profiles. So Twitter, Facebook, and I don't think Instagram has that type of feature, but it has the is it Reels or the groupings? Can't remember the name of it, but we should be able to do that. So we can do it there. The only thing I don't think we can do is on like Twitch. I don't think we can pin videos. It's just the last video that's up there. So, but also Twitch is not. It's more like most recent content. It's not an archival platform. So I don't think it does that.
Will knows more about Instagram than I do, so I'll ask him about pinning, because
it's not pinning. I know I'm 99% sure we can't pin a post, but we can set up the groupings of content at the top. I don't remember what they're called, but you can have little thumbnails and stuff, and we can do that. This is a very good time for a call to more volunteers, especially social media people. I won't be handing over my TikTok account, but the Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, we can probably hand over. YouTube, you can get access. Twitch, I'm not worried about, because it's mainly streams like this, so we don't need to be posting things. It's meant to be live anyway, so there's no point in having access to that I can think of. But we can get access to that, and the idea is most of my content will be created on TikTok initially, just because it's a good platform to force myself to be concise, and then we can share that content on other platforms. And there's a ways of downloading the videos that get rid of the watermark, so it doesn't look like it's just a repost of a TikTok video. So we can do that, and then just share those to the other platforms. So as we get volunteers in that want to do social media stuff, we'll start putting more of that content on the other platforms, because that's something people have called out specifically. They're like, hey, you have a great following on TikTok, but Facebook's lacking. And I was like, yep, sure is. Would you like to volunteer and help? Because that's how that works. I have to focus somewhere, and the nearly 11,000 people on TikTok is where I'm focused currently, because they have shown me a lot of love, and I appreciate it. So that's where my focus is currently. Facebook, Twitch, YouTube, Twitter. I love you also. I need more engagement. We need more people so that I can have more people know who I exist, and more people that will volunteer and help post to those platforms. So with that, if there are no other questions, I think we will end the stream here. And then we'll come back in about 15 minutes. So if anybody's watching and you want to join us for field organization, that will be in just a few minutes. Hold on, let's see. Cami actually asked a good question, and it is strategy related. Tried to get a yard sign, but it wouldn't let me because it doesn't have shipping info. Cami, were you trying to order a single yard sign or a batch of yard signs? Because the single yard signs are intended for groups to work together to buy theirs once they know they have 16 people to order them with. And that probably is why. If you were trying to order a batch, please let me know, because that other people have been able to do it, with the exception of, it was a single. I can try to fix that. The problem is we have to order those in packs of 16, and with funding being inconsistent, I'll say, because there aren't many people who are donating regularly, and those who aren't going to justify buying batches of signs every month. We are predominantly ordering, having people who want to get the word out for us or on my behalf to order a batch and then put those out in their area. And if that is a big ask, because it's $160, I get it. If you want to work with 15 other people to all spend $10 and then order a batch together, that's where that single sign comes from. And I need to figure out the bug because some people can and some people can't. So we got to figure out what's happening there. But yep, hopefully, that answered your question. Awesome. I feel like I was in the middle of saying something when Cammie asked your question. I knew it was important someone to answer. Taylor, what was I in the middle of saying?
Oh shit. Well,
It's fine. Come back at 10 o'clock. No, it's okay. Come back at 10.
ADHD.
Yeah, come back at 10 o'clock, and we'll be talking about field organizing, and that will include yard signs. So that's actually a good little transition. One of those ideas is doing canvassing and talking to people, engaging with your neighbors, your city, and if they are as pissed at the system as you are and I am, then talk to them like, hey, how would you like to support an independent who wants to actually see change? Go learn some more, and we can do a batch of yard signs. Like, you only have to pitch in $10. We'll order a bunch of them, and then we can all put them in our yards, right? So that's one of the things we could do, where it's not a huge ask, and that doesn't give the campaign a whole lot of money, but it does give us awareness, and that is a key thing right now as a write-in campaign. People need to see my name as much as possible, so yard signs help with that in some way. So. Cool. KRS, thank you for the donation. I appreciate it. Like, every $5 helps, $10 helps. Like, there's a couple people that donated a couple $100, and that's been awesome. That actually helped us buy some yard signs for the event that I'm hoping we get to go to today. They should be arriving before 12, and the event starts at 12. So I'm hoping those yard signs show up so I can go to the event in Mobile with some yard signs for people. But that's the hope. So posting in a local group to see if others want to join in purchasing. Yes. Awesome. Amanda, thank you. Yeah, if you know anybody, if you have one of those like what's happening in your town or your city or your neighborhood, if you have a really large neighborhood, and post in there and say, hey, here's a candidate. If you're interested, we can order a batch of 16 or multiple batches of 16, depending on how large your friend group is, and put those out in your yards. My one caveat would be. Make sure you put them in a place that is not against a city ordinance. So it's up to each city, each county. They all have different rules, but check that first so that it doesn't just get ripped out by the public workers. So that's happened a couple times. Private property is perfect. So if you want to put it in your front yard, or if you have a business who's willing to have having a yard sign put in their yard, that's a good way to do that. Cammie, I made your husband decide to register to vote. Yes, like literally, you and your husband are the people I'm trying to reach. Like, if you're already registered and already voting and happy with your choices, then you do you. But it's not what I want. So I've said I'm going to end this stream a couple times. I'm literally going to do that now. My 7-year-old, for the person who mentioned earlier that they didn't get to see him grace the camera, he just showed up again, and I think you saw him on camera again. So. I'm going to end the stream. I'll see you in about 9 minutes for field organizing. TikTok, I'm ending the stream here. And everywhere else, I'm ending the stream there. Y'all have a great day, and I'll see you at 10, hopefully. If not, Tuesday, 7 p.m. for our policy meeting, if you want to talk about healthcare, education, or the prison industrial